I am obsessed with Dochi in the Schiaparelli look, so much that I decided to recreate it. So I'm gonna give y'all a breakdown of how I made this look happen. I already have the fabric to make this, so it was even more meant to be, but I have this blue raw denim and it's scraps, so I'm gonna have to piece it together. And then I have this cotton jersey. But of course we're gonna try and make it our own, and I'm gonna make the corset reversible so that one side is denim and one side is black, and we're gonna reuse these trousers. I wanna finish this today, so let's just get straight into it. We're starting off with the corset, and here I'm just adding all of my style lines with my draping tape, and this basically just creates the outline that we're going to be tracing once we put the fabric over it. And I'm only working with one side of the mannequin because you want to make sure that your pattern pieces are symmetrical. And now we're adding our muslin pieces to the mannequin. Here you want to make sure that your grain line is straight, and I am just snipping around and pinning all of the fabric very taut so that I can trace on those lines that we created with the draping tape. And you repeat that same process for every single section until you end up with this. But we're not done. We need to remove it from the mannequin and clean up all of our lines that we just drew. This process is called truing your pattern pieces. So basically you just use rulers to just make all of those lines that we drew nice and sharp and even so that all of your pattern pieces line up correctly. And then after you do that, you want to add seam allowance to your pattern pieces and cut them out. And then you're ready to cut out of your fabric. Here I'm cutting it out of the denim, and since I had so many scraps, I had to piece things together. Here I'm cutting it out of the black, and I'm also decided to cut it out of a cotton canvas to add more structure inside the corset itself. Now into my favorite part, sewing. So here we're just going to sew together all of our pieces for every single fabric that we cut out, the denim, the lining, and the cotton canvas. I attached the cotton canvas around the top edges of the black so it had a similar structure to the denim, and then I created all the top stitching on the denim with a contrasting thread. And at the same time, I was also creating the boning channels, which I used metal boning because I prefer it over Ridgeline boning, but I did use Ridgeline boning for the lace up in the back. The original design has a zipper, but I felt like the lace up back makes the whole garment easily reversible. For the dress, they use a zero waste method of draping, and you just need about 1.5 yards to 2 yards of fabric depending on how tall you are, and you just take 2 of the corners and you tie a knot at the top. They used a more professional way to finish it, but this works too. And then you put it on like a halter vest, and what really made a difference was twisting the fabric at the top to make the straps thinner, and then you just adjust the fabric over your bust, and what really holds this together is the corset. Once you put it on, you just gather and adjust the fabric, and you'll end up with something like this. Their corset is smaller in the front, and honestly mine could have been way tighter, but this was just a first sample and I'm still really happy with how it came out. Let me know what y'all think. Did I do a good job recreating this look?